Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to the channel, and today we've got week 11 of the NFL predictions. First thing we got to do is look at last week, and it was a disappointing one. A lot of games just didn't go the way I expected them to. Let's go ahead and run through what we had last week. First game, I got wrong. Colts and Titans. I went with the Titans at home, thought they could do it, and they couldn't. So they went to the same record, 6-3. And that's making the Colts look scary, and we'll talk about the Colts more for obvious reasons. I got the Browns, Lions, Packers, Giants, and Bucks, all of those games correct, all of those winners correct. The Bills-Cardinals game, which seems like a century ago at this point, that one I got wrong. That was a crazy game. The ending of that one was crazy. I got the Raiders, Dolphins, and Steelers as winners, all correct. And then I said, first, all the early games, I was perfect. It's, Thursday got wrong, but then all the early games, I was perfect. And I got almost all of the late games, but the Seahawks and the Rams went the other way. So that was a big game for Russ, and it helped take him out of the MVP conversation, at least for now. I think he still can get back in it. I think he could still win, but I don't think it's going to happen, especially with that game against the Rams in the previous week, just turning the ball over so much. After that, got the Saints over 49ers right, and then the last two games of the week I got wrong, both of them. Went with the Ravens over the Patriots. 95% of people agreed with me on that, but the Patriots didn't. So they maybe are getting back on track. Can they get to 11-5? Can they get to 10-6? Can they get to the playoffs? I don't know, but they won that game, and that was pretty impressive. And then the Bears and the Vikings, dude, that was a somewhat entertaining game, a little bit more entertaining than I thought it would be. It still wasn't like crazy entertaining. But the Bears, man, they just can't do enough on offense. It just is not happening. They had that one play that looked like it was going to be a touchdown or like a gain all the way to inside the 5, and it just got overthrown. Like they just can't do it. They can't come through, which is disappointing. So I get that one wrong. The Ravens won, the Seahawks won, the Bills won, and the Titans won. And I didn't predict any of that. So that's a 9-5 week for me, which isn't good. But we got a good start for week 11, and we're gonna run through these. So I picked the Seahawks over the Cardinals. It went the other way in their first meeting. This time, Seahawks come out on top, so home teams win there. Next game, first game tomorrow, we got the Saints hosting the Falcons. This one's pretty easy. Falcons aren't that great. They got 3 wins, but they're still not that great. Saints are really good. You can consider the quarterback situation with the Saints. Drew Brees not going to be there. Taysom Hill is going to be starting, not Jameis Winston. You can consider that, but I think they got a good enough team to win that game. I think their defense has been really good lately, and I think that'll be able to pretty well put a cap on the Falcons offense. And I think the Saints offense will be able to do enough. So we're going with the Saints right there. Next game, we've got the Bengals and Washington. I think this is the spot for Joey Burrow to get his 3rd win. So that's where we're going. With 69% of others going Bengals. Next game after that, pretty easy pick. Eagles, Browns. Eagles aren't good. Browns are good. Plus they have Nick Chubb back. He had a good game last week, and I expect more of the same from him for the rest of the year. Continue to watch the Browns. They're one of those teams that are just good, and not a ton of people are talking about them. They're not super high in like the power rankings, but they're a good team, and they're looking straight at the playoffs. Next matchup, Lions and Panthers. I saw this and I said, I'm going Panthers, dude. Lions are better than, or their record is better than what you would think it would be, just knowing how they've played this year. The Panthers have been bad, but they haven't had McCaffrey, and they've got McCaffrey back now. So I'm definitely going Panthers right here. And I was like, hang on a second, let me check on McCaffrey. Went over, Googled, he's hurt, he's out. So I'm going Lions. I think they'll get to 500. 53% say Panthers, but Lions have been good, and the Panthers don't have McCaffrey. And I think without McCaffrey, they are not good at all. So we're going Lions. So our next game is the Titans at the Ravens. Two teams that I expected to win last week. A lot of people expected to win last week, and they didn't win. I think this is a big game for the Ravens because they're not looking as good as they did last year, which, it's a little scary if you're a Ravens fan. I'm not sure how good they really are. This is a good game to prove, say we are one of the top teams in the NFL, put themselves back in that conversation if they can dominate this matchup. I don't think they will, but I think they will win. So we're going Ravens. Next, we got the Patriots and the Texans. Pretty easy. Texans aren't good, haven't been good at all. Patriots have been. So we're going Patriots. Pretty easy. Will they turn things around? Could they get to 11-5, 10-6 maybe? Can they make the playoffs? I don't know. We'll see. But I think they'll win. I think they'll win this today because I'm posting the video on Sunday. Sorry about it being late. Steelers Jags. You look at this matchup. It seems deceiving, but you really got to look at it through the right lens. The Jags, played a really good game last week. They've got to win on the year. Really good game last week. Only lost by 4 to the Packers, which is obviously one of the better teams in the NFL. And then the Steelers, they're 9-0, but they've really not faced a ton of really good teams. They've got one of the easiest schedules in the league. So when you really look at this through the right lens, you see this is probably going to go Jacksonville way if I was stupid, but I'm not. So we're going Steelers. Next up, we got the Dolphins and Broncos. There's not much to say here other than one team has Andrew Van Ginkel and the other doesn't. So it's a pretty obvious pick. Dolphins have been playing well. Next, after that, Jets-Chargers. This is a game. Red alert. This is a game where the Jets have a chance to get a win. I don't think they're going to do it. I think Justin Herbert with that terrible new haircut. I had to say it. I'm sorry, but you don't. It doesn't look good. Yeah. I think we'll get a third win along with Burrow. So we'll see. I don't see the Jets winning anything ever. Next game, we've got the Cowboys and the Vikings. Vikings have been playing really well, but they're only 4-5. You look at how teams are perceived. The Lions are way worse than the Vikings, but they have the same record, and I think they're going to have the same record after this week too. I think they're both going to get to 5-5. Dallas has not shown that they're able to do much. Dalvin Cook didn't have a great week last week against the Bears. I think he'll have a bounce-back game, have a good game against the Cowboys. We'll see. Then we got the Packers. Going to Indianapolis, this is their most difficult game for the rest of the year. Basically, the matchup, if you want a summary of the matchup, the Packers have one of the top offenses in the league, and the Colts have one of the top defenses. And on the other side of the ball, Colts have kind of middle-of-pack offense, and Packers have middle-of-the-pack defense. However, Packers hopefully, I'm not 100% sure, but hopefully are getting back Allen Lazard along with Devontae Adams. It'll be the first time, if they're both back, it'll be the first time that they're both playing and healthy since I want to say it was first quarter of week 2. And Lazard was massive for us in his first 2 games. Or whenever it was. I don't remember who got hurt first. They've both been injured. They've both missed time. But Lazard was really good when he was healthy. Had to have core muscle surgery, but he is back. Hopefully this week, if not next week. And then the other side of the ball, we've got Christian Kirksey back. He was out for a while. We've got him back, and he seems to be playing just fine. Rashawn Gary is playing really well. And then in the secondary, we should hopefully be getting back Kevin King and Jair Alexander, or at least one of them. Basically, those two and Adams and Lazard are the four main guys on the injury report that you have to worry about. They're big names, they're important names, and we need them back. Once we get them back, we're going to be a lot better than we have been without them, obviously. So watch out. In this game, I think the Packers are going to win. For all the reasons that I just said, the Colts have a really good defense. I don't think they have the kind of caliber play that you saw against the Packers in Tampa Bay. I don't think they're going to be able to, create as much pressure as there was in that game. And if you can't do that, it's really, really hard to beat the Packers. The other thing to mention is in the two games the Packers have played where they really, were unimpressive at home, against the loss to the Vikings and then last week against the Jags, there was wind. There was a lot of wind. And people are going to say, excuses. It's a reason. With the wind, it inhibits the passing game, which is, the main part of the Packers offense. They're playing in Indy. It's indoors. So those are all the reasons laid out for you. I'm along with 74% of people. But that doesn't really matter because I just know who's going to win. Last two games. That's going to be a really good game, hopefully. And the last two games are hopefully going to be really good games as well. We got the Chiefs at the Raiders. We know what happened the first time. Raiders played really well and won. I don't think they're going to win again. I want them to. I'm going to be rooting for the Raiders. But I don't think the Chiefs are going to get swept in the division. I don't see that happening. And I don't really have much else to say. But these are two really good teams going at it. Two teams that should be in the playoffs. And yeah. I would be surprised if the Raiders win, but I will be happy if they win. So we're going Chiefs. And the last game of the week, we've got the Rams at the Bucks. For the Bucks, you cannot forget that game against the Saints. Just like with the Packers, you can't forget the game against the Bucks. And the Rams, they've been playing really well. They played really well against Russell Wilson, created a bunch of turnovers against him. And you look at the Bucks game against the Saints. The big thing that the Saints did to limit the Bucks offense was pressure. Tons of pressure. Their D-line played really well that game. The Rams, they have Aaron Donald. But Bucks are good, and they're at home. And they're not playing the Saints or the Chiefs or Pittsburgh. So I'm going with the Bucks. I think those are probably the only teams where I wouldn't go with the Bucks. For score-wise, let's go 34 to 25. I don't know how you would get to those numbers, but we're going to go 24 to 35. Or 25 to... what you see the numbers. You can read whatever I typed in there. We'll run through the winners once more. I got the Seahawks right. Then after that, we got the Saints, Bengals, Browns, Lions, Ravens, Patriots, Steelers, Dolphins, Chargers, Vikings, Packers, Chiefs, and Bucks. Let me know what you agree with, what you disagree with, and why Davante Adams is the best receiver in the league. That was the other bit of information that I was going to drop that I didn't say about the Packers game. One team has the player who is first in receptions per game, first in yards per game, and first in touchdowns per game at the wide receiver position. Make that any position. And the other doesn't. So I'm picking the team that does. That's going to be it for this video, though. Thank you so much for watching. Enjoy the games today. Or if you're watching after the games, I hope you enjoyed them. I hope your team wins, unless they're the team that I didn't pick. And that's going to be it. Thank you so much for watching. Stay safe as always, and I'll see you next time.